Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danny D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas, and I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello, and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast, where we talk about how you can build your business and still have your relaxed lifestyle. Today, we have a lovely guest, a good friend of mine, Tiffany McKinney, and I'm going to give you an intro to her, and then we're going to just get into our topic for today. So, Tiffany is a certified balloon artist, and she brings fun, elegant, and creative balloon decor to the Metro Detroit area through her business, Pabloon Balloon Company, LLC. And she has been playing with balloons for over 20 years. I know she don't look like it at all. And for the last 10 years, she's also enjoyed teaching balloon artistry and business concepts to those who are looking to establish their own business. She's a graduate of Eastern Michigan University, and her other interests include being a dog mom, which we share in common, playing in makeup, and reading and traveling. So welcome, Tiffany.
Thank you for having me.
And today we are talking about, are you pricing for profit in your business? So it's a great topic, especially, when we're looking at having that relaxed lifestyle. If you want to have that relaxed lifestyle, you have to be charging appropriately to be able to balance out that, have that work-life balance. Like, because that's for me, that's the goal.
Yeah.
So one thing that I wanted to ask you about is, can you tell me more about, I know you have a pricing class as a part of your balloon decor education. Can you tell me a little bit more about what your philosophy is about pricing?
Sure. Well, the class was developed because as I attended conferences and classes, and then I started teaching classes, the number one question that everybody wants to know is, once I know how to create this thing, is how do I sell it and what do I charge for it? And I mean, that's naturally the next step. And so what I thought about as I was creating my course curriculum is, I want to teach like I learn, which is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need all the information. Don't just give me bits and pieces. So if you go too fast, you gloss over information or assume that I know things, it's not clearly communicated, I check out naturally. And I think that's a bad habit for a lot of people. And so even as I started teaching, I could see that people were tuning out when we got to the math, when the math started math, because they were intimidated by it. And I think, I'm sure it's not just business owners, but when we're intimidated by something, we check out mentally. It takes some, you really have to put forth some effort to learn something that intimidates you. But I try hard to make it approachable, easy to understand. That's my thing. I try to take the information, break it down, and make it easy and approachable, and walk us through this thing. So if we need to have a math class, we have a math class. We're breaking out the calculators and the formulas, and we're walking away from this thing with a full understanding of what we're doing. So my goal is basically learn it so that you can walk away from this with your own numbers for your own business that makes sense in real life.
Right. And that's absolutely beautiful. And I think, one of the things you just said was about how we get intimidated. And and it's true, when people get intimidated, intimidation and frustration tend to come together.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you get that frustrated feeling, it's easier to just, kind of throw your hands up and just say, you know what?
Yep.
I know for me,
walk away from it.
Look, this is stupid. Like,
right.
If I can't figure it
Yep.
out, this is stupid. And
Mhm.
but it is a really good instructor knows how to then come back around and say, no, let's break this down even
Yeah,
further so that you
absolutely.
really understand and kind of hold your hand through that thing that is terrifying you. And sometimes when it's math,
Yeah.
some people carry math fear and intimidation from
Oh, they
childhood.
do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
From
I can see
childhood.
in people how they just start to tune out. It's like they get overwhelmed instantly. You can see they're afraid. And they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing this. And that's not acceptable. You can't move forward if you can't run a business like that.
No, because then all of a sudden now you're just pulling numbers out of the air or copying
Uh-huh.
numbers, and
Yep.
you don't know if you're truly making a profit. So, by the time
Absolutely.
you realize that you're not making a profit, you a lot of times are too deep in. Now
Yes.
you have these loyal customers who
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's great, but now you're stuck in this pricing range that's not making
Mm-hmm.
sense for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I totally hear what you're saying there. So what are some areas that we need to consider when we're trying to price for profit?
Well, I think that a lot of areas, well, here's a few areas I think that people don't fully accommodate for your materials. It's easy to say, I'm a balloon artist, I'm going to charge you for balloons, but you have to charge for everything. And we take the smaller items like tape. A lot of times we use the clear fishing line or just any small thing, glue, for example. And they think, oh, it's just $1. Oh, it's just, I can go run and grab. Well, it's just $1. And when you just get to the store, they just gonna ask you for that dollar. It's got to
That
come from
whole dollar,
somewhere.
look, that
You know,
whole dollar.
and tax. So you have to know where that money is coming from. And I think also next would be your real expenses, your overhead, um, expenses like traveling and delivering decor. I know, for example, when I hear certain areas in our area, Birmingham, downtown Detroit, Royal Oak, I know that, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to pay for parking down there. Accounting for all of those things and charging your client for all of those things is important. And lastly, our time. I don't know why so many people
Ooh.
struggle with charging for their time. It's like I have literally heard people say, I just take the cost of everything and I double it. But it took you 4 hours. It literally
Right,
took you 4 hours to
right,
put all this
right.
together and get it to the client. So people really struggle with charging for their time,
And
and I don't know why, but it's important. You have to.
that's the one that always kills me because if we think about specifically in the balloon industry, there's certain things that are just time consuming, like the mosaic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh
The
my goodness.
mosaics
Yes.
are they are extremely time consuming, especially if you're building the mosaic yourself. So you have to allow
Absolutely.
for that time to build it, to then design it, the
Mhm.
inside of it and all the work
Yes.
involved in that. And every time I talk to someone who's doing them, and their price is usually like 100 or something like that,
Yes.
and I'm just like, how, like, absolutely how? And then
Yes.
but their reaction is, oh my god, yeah, they're so time consuming, oh my god, I hate
Yeah.
doing it. And I'm like, so why is it so cheap then? If it's like, if
Exactly.
it takes more time than the other things
Hmm.
that you're doing, why is it cheaper?
Not even that. To me, there are certain things I refuse to do. I refuse to do mosaics because what I'm going to charge you for is not even worth it, in my opinion. It's going to be so expensive. It's just, I don't see the value in it. So I just don't, I decide, people are afraid to tell clients no, but that's not a service that I offer because another thing I've learned too, if you tell somebody one time you're going to do something and you take a picture of it, everybody expects you to keep going.
Yes.
Mm-mm. It just doesn't make financial sense to me to do things like that. So I tell my clients, no, that's not something that I offer.
And you have to be comfortable in standing in that. You really
Absolutely.
have to be comfortable in standing in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't offer mosaics for the same reason. I did one as a gift once, and
Hmm.
in that process I was just like, I don't ever want to do this again in life. Like, I have zero
Absolutely.
desire to do
Yeah.
this
Mm-hmm.
again. And if I did, it would be for a premium
Oh yes,
price
absolutely.
because it is
Mm-hmm.
very, very time consuming, very meticulous. So it would be for a premium price. And that just was the end of that for me. And then, there's
Yeah.
certain things that I don't offer, and I'm cool with
Yep.
that because, like you said,
Exactly.
the price, not saying I can't justify the price, but just saying the price is not going to be what the industry
Mm-hmm.
standard is, because the
Absolutely.
industry standard is not where it needs to be.
Absolutely. That's a great yeah, that's a great analogy. It's not where it needs to be. People do not charge by far for the time that it takes. It's not worth it.
And I think the biggest thing to me that I get so caught up on is when people are undercharging,
Mm-hmm.
but then overworking themselves.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
like my whole philosophy is I'm trying to spend as much time in these PJs as possible.
Right.
And I don't understand, I would love to get that connection back to people of like, if you
Absolutely.
charge appropriately, you don't have to do as many jobs to hit your
Yes.
sales goals.
Yes. Yes. I think that people, first of all, people, I don't know why in this culture that we're in, this whole social media thing, we glamorize grind until you die. What kind of foolishness? What?
It
That does not make sense
it
to
makes no
me.
sense. It makes
And
absolutely no
so,
sense.
if the point is to work hard and get money, when are you gonna have time to enjoy that money? If you
Right.
grind until you die, that's why you can't be afraid to look at what you really enjoy about your business. That's important. What you enjoy about working. I do not enjoy making centerpieces, so I rarely make centerpieces. I don't enjoy making mosaics. It does not bring me joy, so I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
But
No,
I
I
mean,
would use my time accordingly.
but
No,
we're grown. We're grown. We're not at the age where you have to do the thing because somebody told you to. You're an
exactly.
adult. You're a business owner. You get to
Yes.
choose. You get to choose what it is you do and what you don't do. And it's not
Hmm.
that you're not going to be, profitable in your business just because you don't do X. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like to do bouquet delivery.
Hmm.
It hasn't hurt my business. I know somebody that
No.
does, and
Yeah.
I refer to that person. I don't like to do it. To me, it breaks up my day.
Hmm.
Most places that they want balloons delivered to are, like you said, areas that require additional parking and,
Yep.
all the other like things that are, we don't always consider that we
Hmm.
should
Absolutely. Absolutely.
start to add up, and it's just not worth it at the end of the day to me. So that's not a thing
Yeah.
that I enjoy doing. Now,
Yeah.
if that's your business model, I know a lot of
Yep.
people that have very lucrative businesses based around solely doing deliveries.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you refer to those people, like you said, it's nothing wrong. I don't know why we are so averse to, number one, telling our client that's not something that, we offer, and then extending the things that you do, offering the things that you do actually offer, or referring to someone else. I'm not going to waste my time. My time is important to me. That's what I'm working for. And I think
Right.
the model for success that we have is based on what people are telling us.
Right. Right.
Like we look at the world, and the model for success is this flashy lifestyle. I gotta have this kind of car. I want to go on these kind of vacations. I want to do these kind of things. Now, what's important to you and what's important to me? Time. I want to
Right.
sit in my pajamas. I want to
Right.
drink my coffee slow in the morning. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so my business looks like that for me. I made my business look like me. That was important because when I didn't do that, I didn't enjoy it. I did
Right.
not enjoy it. And so many times I would think about quitting. I'm like, oh honey, I got to go do something else because this ain't it. This
Right,
ain't it.
right. Oh yeah, I
Hmm.
can remember those days in my business where I was just like, oh my God, like it's just, so overwhelming. You're doing so much,
Yes,
you're frustrated, you're not enjoying the people that you're working with, all of these
exactly.
things because you're not clear on your business
Yeah.
identity.
Hmm.
And you
That's
haven't
important. It's very
started with
important.
that business identity and then building it out from there. And then
Yeah.
also your personal goals and desires.
Yes, yes.
So
It's
if
very
my
important.
personal goals and desires or that I have time freedom, then it doesn't make sense for me to develop a business where I am working myself constantly. So
Yes.
I have to carve out my business differently. So volume is not the jam for me. It might
Right.
be for somebody else, you know what I'm saying? But it's not for me.
Absolutely.
For me, I
Mm-hmm.
want quality. I want some quality jobs that are paying,
Yes.
a good amount so that I can have that time freedom and so that I can do other things besides,
Yes.
constantly working in the business, but still have it be profitable and still have it be
Exactly.
successful.
It makes sense. Yep. Absolutely. And I like
Well,
how you talked about that business identity, because I think that's something important for people to look at. And we don't. We just jump in and we see 900 things we can do with balloons and we're going to do all of them. But
right.
it's too chaotic. It's too chaotic and you're all over the place.
And when you're not clear, your client is not clear.
There you go. That's important.
So, people go to, like if they know you're the person that's known for X, Y, and Z. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Like when I was recently, I had to look for a new makeup artist. And when I was looking, I like a more natural look.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that was like 1,000 places on her website. So
Yeah.
I knew that she was that person. Whereas she
Yeah.
could have been more generic, but then I wouldn't have known that she was what I was looking for. So
Absolutely.
that business identity helps connect you so well to
Absolutely.
to your ideal client.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you. I'm gonna step on
Okay.
some toes here with this one. I'm gonna step on a
Uh-oh.
few toes, but I want to talk about. This is a phrase, I know you've heard it. I know I have heard it several times.
Okay.
My client won't pay me that.
Okay. Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
I can't tell you how often I hear that from people that have been in the business, I feel like, long enough to know better. Here's the thing: get new clients. You can
Say it
go
again for the
to,
people in the
I
back.
mean, get a new client. Here's the thing: I can go to Walmart and get a t-shirt. I can go to Macy's or Neiman Marcus and get a t-shirt, and then whatever other high-end retailer and get a t-shirt. They're going to be all these different price points, right? I can't walk into, for example, there was an advertisement that came across my Facebook timeline for Tiffany's, and they were selling this paper clip. I think it was a paperweight or something. Girl, that
Right.
thing had to be thousands of dollars. And I said, for a paper clip? Like, where we go? But I can't be mad at them because guess what?
Somebody
Somebody's
gonna
buying
buy
it.
it. Somebody about to
Somebody
buy
is
it.
buying it somewhere.
Somebody's gonna
As a
buy
matter,
it.
I mean, and so you can't get mad at that. Offer what you can to to who you can. And guess what? Here's the thing. When you raise your prices, you groom your business and you groom your clientele. And it's okay to grow. I find that people tend to have a pricing model. Their pricing model falls with somewhere in their personality,
Right.
right? Like either I'm gonna charge the world to make $1 million, or I don't want to offend people. I don't want to price gouge. They actually, it's almost like charging more money turns them off. They're afraid of it.
Yes.
You have to fall somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
So if if your clients are not paying that, that comes along with that brand and business identity. Get new clients. They're out there. There are people that shop at Walmart. There are people that shop at Macy's. There are people that shop at whatever the highest end retailer.
Yes.
They are, it is what it is. And
Absolutely.
when your brand identity, go look for the client that's going to pay what you want them. They're out there. If they weren't out there, there wouldn't be different neighborhoods. There wouldn't be all these different stores.
And that, I teach this. If you are charging too low, high-end clients are concerned.
Yes.
They become concerned because they're thinking, why does it cost so low? Because they're used to paying for convenience.
Absolutely.
And they know that convenience is going to cost them more.
Yes.
They know that. And so they are they're prepared to pay that money. But if you are not prepared to ask for it, then you are not going to attract that client. You're going, as long as you are, lowballing yourself, you're going to attract lowballing clients.
Yeah, it's the truth. And I say this, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's the truth. Broke people beget broke people. Broke people got broke friends.
Look, let me pass the collection plate on that one.
A
community of them.
Girl, and so we tend to hang around people who think like us, right?
Right.
And so if you don't have a very wide circle, then all of your friends are just like you. And if you don't have any money, sugar, then you're okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Correct.
But it has so much to do with how we perceive things. Like, for example, let me tell the truth. I'm not my target client. I am not going to pay what I charge for balloons, but I'm not my target client.
And that's okay.
Right, absolutely.
That's absolutely okay.
And when you change your prices, some of those people are gonna fall off. But we're it's a business. It's not friendships. You know what I mean? We get so tied to these clients.
But I think that's where, something you said earlier and what you said just now just brought me to it, of the emotional connection to pricing.
Absolutely.
It's numbers.
Yeah.
It's absolutely numbers that are based on being profitable. So you are looking at, what does it cost for me to be profitable with this as a business?
Yeah.
And that's all you're doing. So there's nothing to apologize for. People say, oh, well, you're gouging, you're this, you're that. No, you're paying your bills.
Yeah. There you go.
You are affording a lifestyle. That's what you're doing. It's just the same as, you don't think about that when you go pay your light bill. Right. You don't think about, oh my God, they gouging me for water. Water is a natural resource. You don't think about it when they put a price point on it though, and they make you pay it. You don't think about it when you are the consumer, but for some reason, when you become the business owner, you are so deeply concerned with what that price means to the customer. As long as that price, it's like, again, if you're actually gouging, that's a different conversation, but you're pricing for your livelihood.
Yes.
And you have to remove that feeling of, the customer and how they may feel, what you've made up, because they haven't said that. It's just something that you've come up with in your mind. But also, we're not selling insulin. Nobody is going to
save lives.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? You're selling a specialty, luxury item, in the sense that it's not something that people have to have. It is, of course we want every celebration to have balloons and, to have decor and all of that stuff. But we all grew up and we've had, parties where they just, slapped something against the wall and said happy birthday, and we still live.
Right. Exactly. It is not, we are not saving lives. You know what I mean? We're really not, it's a luxury item.
There should be no emotion involved, Exactly. And I love my clients. I have relationships with my clients. I remember transitioning from, random pricing to really, having structured pricing that had meaning behind it. And I remember having to make that adjustment and, clients, falling off. And I get the emotion of all of that, because, there's some people been with you since day one, I get that emotion. But at the end of the day, you still have to think about your business as a business. It is a business. Yes. And its job is to put you in a position to be able to do the things that you want to do in your life.
And it's about growing and evolving. When people don't want to raise their prices or charge enough, to me, I wonder if you really value what you do. If you value your product, your skill set, what you have to offer. Because the time that we put into this thing, the amount of classes that I've been to, literally staying up all night, sometimes to get events done. It takes a lot. It requires a lot. I have to get paid for that.
Right.
You don't go to a 9 to 5 job and they ask you, they give you your job description and they ask you to do 42 other things outside of the job description and they're not paying you for it. That's not how that works. You have to get some kind of compensation for that. So it makes me wonder, do you even have confidence in your skill set and in what you have to offer? And a lot of times I find that's what pricing boils down to, is your level of confidence.
And that it's funny that you said that. That's what my coach says. My coach says, pricing is all about confidence. The
Absolutely.
price is whatever you can say confidently and stand on.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And that's the thing, is that, you saying it with the one eye, closed, a little scared, you hitting sin with that nervousness in you because you don't think, jumping back to what you said, you don't think that you're good enough or worth enough.
Yes.
Or more. And, and that's, it makes me sad, to see that, because there's so many artists that are so talented.
Yeah.
Like their talent is just exuding. And it's like, if you don't see that that's work, that's not like standard work.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see it and you're like, that is so exquisite. And then you find out they're charging $5.50 and you're like, wait, what?
Right. It's a confidence thing. And I don't know. To me, the way that they see it is very distorted. It's just really very distorted because you have all this to offer that something that a client most times cannot accomplish themselves. And if they do, it doesn't look as nice. You have to find, first of all, people are afraid to hear no.
Right.
That little bit of rejection, really bothers people. But all it takes is getting a yes to build your confidence. And I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting that right, yes, because a lot of times it's not that you're not worth it. It's not that your client won't pay. It's that you're sitting in front of the wrong people. And so when you make that transition, because I always like to be clear and transparent with people as far as what things are going to look and feel like, because, a lot of times people aren't, and people are like, why I feel like this, everybody else seems like they're fine and I feel like this. That transition is a little difficult.
Yeah,
because when you're transitioning, you are leaving behind that comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're leaving behind a lot of times some of your original clients. You're going to hear no, but the thing is, behind that no is a bunch of yeses. And once you shift over into that right lane and get in front of that right customer and start getting those yeses, first of all, those no's start to lessen. And secondly, even when they're there, you don't hear them. You just like, okay.
Exactly.
Like,
right. Everybody doesn't value the same thing, right?
Correct.
So I have a friend whose husband buys her these expensive purses. That's her jam. I don't find any value in that. My thing is I want to eat well. I want to vacation well. You know what I mean? So I don't have any value in purses. That one person may not value, those 10 people may not find value in it, but if you just go on social media, you see there are people that value that value what you have to offer. Sometimes it's even as much as just ask.
Right.
We are even afraid to put the right number out there because we're so intimidated. We talk ourselves down, but just ask. You haven't even asked for the right amount of money.
No. And that's the thing. Like I posted a meme about that one time and I'm like, one of the reasons why they haven't paid you is because you never asked.
Yeah,
you never
because
you were like, well, nobody is going to pay that amount. You know how many nobodies that's going to pay that amount that I didn't got paid that then cleared the bank?
Listen.
You have to ask it. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask if you want to receive it. And the thing about it is, it's not going to always be a yes, but it's also not going to always be a hard no. That person may come back and say, you know what? This is what my budget is, But that's
Mhm.
not, don't take that personal. Don't say that my work
Absolutely.
is not worth that. Okay, that's
Mhm.
your budget. Let's work this out. And that doesn't
Yeah,
mean reduce the price of the original thing.
exactly,
That just
exactly.
means that, okay, if this is where your budget lies, we're going to figure out what we can offer that's going to still meet your needs that's within that budget.
Yes, yes. But it's hard to do that if you don't have the right numbers.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
that's what's hard to do is when you don't have the right numbers. Like what I try to encourage people to do is think about what's the minimum amount of money you're willing to get dressed and leave your house for. Because if you can't make that, don't go. Don't
And
go.
and look, and understand the amount that they're paying you is not the amount that's going into your pocket.
Exactly. People just take that money like, whoop, I just made off and they run off. Ma'am, you gotta buy
No.
materials. You gotta
No.
pay taxes. There's all these other your business needs
No.
to make money. Yeah.
Right. So no,
Hmm.
so and that's the other thing too. I think people think about it like that. And so they're like, oh, I just made $2,000, but you really didn't. And so
Right.
you're thinking that's good, but that might have really been like a $10,000 job,
There you go.
because you're
Yeah.
looking at it, just from that cash in hand perspective and
Yeah. Hmm.
not knowing your numbers.
Yeah. You have to be familiar with your numbers, even especially now and today when everything is going up.
Ooh,
Everything. How much are we paying for gas? How much more just from framing materials? How much more have they gone up, in the past
exponentially.
2 years?
I
So
mean,
yeah,
like
you have to accommodate for all of that.
I used to consider a lot of that stuff disposable. Now I'm trying to go back and get my stuff.
Look, yeah, absolutely.
Like if I can go back, I'm gonna go back and get it,
Hmm.
because the price has gone up. Everything is
Way
changed.
up.
You know what is that, Fat Joe? Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Right.
That's real.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's real.
Exactly.
And you have to accommodate for that in your business. If
Hmm.
you haven't changed your prices, but over the pandemic, you need to go sit down and work on that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not just walking away with a certain amount of money. Like there are so many expenses. I think there's so many expenses that people don't even look at. Like your business needs to have a savings.
Right.
Your business literally outside of you getting paid and all these other things. People so don't think about that. They just take that money, pay the bare minimum to, buy supplies and stuff and run off with the rest. If you're gonna have a functioning, thriving business, you need to have all of that.
Because you need to be able to, okay, so what happens when you get a large job, but it's a corporate client and they're gonna pay net 30 or net
Yep,
60?
there you go. Hmm.
How are you going to be able to do that if you don't have
Yes,
cash flow?
there you go. There you go. How can
What
you pay
if,
employees?
what if a pandemic happens and
Right, right,
all of a sudden
right. Hmm. Hmm.
your income and revenue doesn't look like it
Yes,
once did? Then what
absolutely,
happens?
absolutely,
Especially if
absolutely.
you are, full time, or if you're relying on your business to, finance your life. What
Yes.
happens then if you don't have these things in place? So, the pandemic sure threw a lot of curveballs, but hopefully we're
Hmm.
walking away with some lessons of
Absolutely.
how to, structure things better moving forward to make sure that
Yeah.
we're putting ourselves in a position that, because there are a lot of businesses, in all different industries that have gone out of business
Yeah.
because they could
Absolutely.
not sustain what has happened to us over the last 2 years.
Hmm.
And
And some of it couldn't be helped. Some of it could be helped, with better business structure. But a lot of it couldn't be helped.
yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just outside of your control. I mean, especially
Exactly.
depending on your industry.
Hmm.
Some businesses aren't in a position to open, or even if they can open, it's not profitable for them to open with the restrictions that they have to put in place.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
there's so much that's outside of our control, but we have to try to control as much as we can to
Yeah.
keep ourselves in, position to stay going, to stay
Yeah.
open, to keep going.
Hmm.
for as long as possible.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
So what are some tips that you would give someone that's struggling to raise their prices?
I would say, okay, a few things. First of all, be honest with yourself. Let's look at this thing. Is this going to be a business or is it a hobby? In this day and age, social media tells us to, leave the job, go work for yourself. You don't have to do nothing that nobody tell you to do. Jump out here and start a business. That does not work for everybody. It just doesn't. Right. So be honest with yourself. I have a girlfriend that sold jewelry. She took all these classes. She really enjoyed jewelry making. She jumped into business and she wasn't doing well, but she realized that she did not enjoy having a business. This is more of a hobby for her. She enjoys it as a hobby. So she decided to just to teach jewelry making to kids and to adults. And she set it up that way so that you don't have all the pressures of a business. That's the first thing. Second of all, people who are struggling with raising their prices are struggling with some kind of confidence. That's what it is. So what I like to imagine is, this is not my favorite movie, but the scene in Rocky, everybody's seen this, where he's running through the streets and the music is behind him and he's running. And then he gets to the top and he's, jumping up and down. I made it, because he's training, he's building his muscle. He's at the top of his game, right? Picture that without the music. Child, if ain't no music in that scene, he just running and huffing and puffing. And what you're going to hear is some hard work. First of all, you have to realize that that's what business is. It's hard work. When you work for yourself, I heard somebody say you get to pick which 24 hours of the day, which 24 hours a day you're going to work, or which 12 hours. You're working all of them. All the hours you're going to work on, because you're everything. Until you can afford to hire employees, you're the what they say, the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. So if he's running and all you hear is, that does not sound like fun. Get you a hype man, right? So I'm telling you, because that's what the music is in that scene.
Right, it is.
The music is pushing him, it's driving him, and it's getting you all excited. Really, you need a hype man. So in my circle of people, I make sure that I'm not at the top, I'm not at the bottom, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle so that I can look back and teach and encourage and motivate. But I have somebody to aspire to. I have someone that I see that's running this race before me, that I can look to them and say, okay, I might not exactly want to go in their direction and do exactly what they're doing, but they're on the path that I want to go on. And then you can be inspired and motivated and encouraged by them. So literally, I have my people that I call when I'm sending out that big invoice, somebody in my ear, girl, you can do it. Let me tell you, remember we took this class. Remember, you can do this. You need that hype man. You need that music in your ear.
Yes.
Right. So that can be a podcast. That can be a person. That can be a group of people, YouTube videos, whatever it is, you need that behind you, because really it's just a confidence booster. It wasn't until when we sent out our highest invoice, and this was right before the pandemic, when I tell you, when he paid that invoice, it was like we exhaled and went, and nobody breathed. It was just like, they paid it, but it's a confidence booster.
Like I wasn't there, and I know exactly what what you're saying, and exactly what it's like. All right. I sent
right. There you go. Exactly. I said, all they can say is no. All they can say is no. But when somebody pays that invoice, it is a huge
no questions asked, and
there you go.
You just be like, oh, all right. Well, we're doing this. We're doing this.
Exactly. And then after that, you have no problem looking at people and saying, oh, you can't afford such and such. Let me refer you to someone else. And there is no spite. Because people in other spaces have to eat too. I refer people all the time, and people refer to me. But let me move on to where my money is,
Right.
Another thing, again, is knowing your real costs, because the price of everything has gone up. So if you have not raised your prices to meet what the increase has been in the past 2 years, I don't know how you're surviving. And then too, I think, and this is important, I think that everybody should do this. Whatever your industry is, take 30 days, take a piece of paper, and I would like I tried to do notebooks, but what happens with notebooks is you write on one page, you turn the page, and 6 pages later so take one piece of paper, put it on your desk, and for 30 days, think about all that you do. Every single thing that you do for your business. And you're not going to have it all in one day and all at one time. If you just take 5 minutes a day, or as you're talking to a client, things will begin to come to you. Write all of that down. I don't care if it's going to the bank, taking out the trash, all of it, all of it. What would you pay somebody to do? All that's on these pages at this point. All of that is worth something.
Right.
The money has got to come from somewhere.
Right.
What would you pay somebody else to do that in real life? Right? So if you're struggling to raise your prices and you want to stay in business, you build your confidence, because really that's a lot of what that is. It's confidence building. And if you feel like you're lacking in an area, increase your skill set. This is the age of YouTube University. You better get on there and practice and learn and grow.
Right.
There are so many opportunities for you to expand your skill set. So,
yeah, I think that, we have to, you got to always be growing and evolving.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to always be educating yourself as a business owner, both on your craft and on business.
Yeah,
those things are very important to keep growing and keep, elevating. I think that what happens is we get there and we start to see a little money coming in, and then we're just there.
Yeah. That's very true.
And then you're wondering why you're seeing people pass you up or do all these other things, and you are still in that same spot. You have to put in that work to get to another level. And one of the beautiful things that you said about your circle and making sure that you have that diversity in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I find most people do is they find a circle of people who are just like them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with being with people who you have things in common with, but you need people in your circle that stretch you.
Yes.
And that require you to grow. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference, because when you see people, going down the path you want to go, don't look at them with envy.
Yeah.
Look at them as an inspiration. Because if they can do it, you can do it.
Right.
We're all human people. The end. If they can do it, you can do it. And in most cases, they will share with you what they did to get where they wanted to go. So make sure that you are mixing that up, and that you're, even if you are, you may feel like, okay, we're on the same level, but this might be your strong suit and this might be mine. So now we can help each other in those areas where the other one is weaker. But they gotta be making you grow. If your friends are not making you grow,
it's stagnant.
I mean, I don't want to step on toes again, but get you some new friends.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Get you some new friends. And like you said, if you don't have no cheerleaders in that group, you can cut them loose.
There you go.
You can cut them loose, because
you hear those people saying, like on social media, my circle of friends, you scared to give information, and people scared to give, it's just, no,
like, y'all not friends. Let's just be real. Y'all not friends.
There you go. That's not your circle. That's not your
y'all
circle.
not friends, because friends don't operate like that. Y'all might know each other. Y'all might have known each other a long time, but friends don't operate like that. Because the one thing I know is, if I go to my circle of friends and I say, man, I don't know about such and such, they about to hype me. Look, they about to be Flavor Flav. They about to hype me up like it's no tomorrow. And I tell y'all all the time, I'm like, if you forget who you are,
there you go.
You better call me, because I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna remind you of who you are, and that's what it should look like, and that's what your circle should look like. And I think, just all of this, I know we're touching on some stuff that's outside of like the idea of profit, but all of this is what goes into being a successful business owner
Right.
is, there's always the self-work.
Oh yeah.
There's always the self-work, like you talked about building the confidence, your circle, what that looks like. That's all a part of it. And that's all what, helps you along your journey as opposed to just sitting stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just sitting stuck and stagnant. Like that's not the look. There's more out there for you. But you do have to be brave enough to go for it.
It does take courage. It does to stretch outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
To go beyond what you already know, what feels good, because your friends, whoever's in your circle should be able to encourage you. But those same people should be able to say, you slacking.
Right.
You slacking. We recently, a circle of friends we have a situation that we have dealt with, and it's uncomfortable. One of the members of the group did something that was completely selfish. And so somebody had to say it. And so I said it. I pulled it to the side. I made sure I said it in love. But you need to hear that. If we're going to stay friends, you need to hear that. And I told them, I said, listen, if I'm wrong like that, you better say something to me. Don't let me just be walking around here crazy.
Right.
Get in my butt and say something to me.
Right. Oh, no, I give all my friends full permission to gather me. That's a part of the friendship agreement.
Exactly. Get me together.
That is a part of the friendship. Because sometimes, you see people out here on social media and you like, what the? You don't got a friend? Like, no.
Thank you. Not a one.
Nobody pulled you to the side and said, girl, go sit down somewhere. Go. Like, that's not the look. Like, don't do that. But I think that's very important. And trying to think of the phrase somebody said the other day. They said, you'll deliver the lick and give me the Band-Aid all in the same conversation.
There you go.
That is, that's just, to me, that is true friendship, because a real friend is going to, they know that it's difficult to give you that bad information or, tell you, girl, you stepping out of line. That's a hard conversation for a friend to have with you. But if they really love you, they don't want to see you go down that road. And, I just think it's important to have those people in your life too. Those people that are just honest with you. And, I have one girlfriend, like, she'll just look at me and I'm like, all right, tell me why I'm wrong.
Fix it.
Just tell me why I'm wrong. I see it on your face. Like,
get me together. Yeah. But that's how growth happens.
Right.
If you hear anybody talk about growth, the first thing they're going to tell you is that it is uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, it is. It is, because you have to face some parts of yourself. And like you said earlier, you have to be honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes the problem is you.
Yeah, there you go.
And you have to be able to own that. And you have to be able to say, you know what?
Yeah.
That was me. That was me all day long. And, the more you get to know yourself, the more you're honest with yourself, like you said, with that confidence piece, the more you can pull yourself up. Because you feel when that insecurity is coming. You start to see your emotions before they get here.
Absolutely. That's true. That's good. That's good.
So I'm gonna wrap up, Tiffany, because I know we can talk all day and all of the night. But I do want to keep just some standard questions to go along with the Profits in Pajamas theme. So one question, tell me about your favorite pajamas.
These are my favorite pajamas. I'm a Wonder Woman girl because she is my hype man.
Love it. So
my mother gave me these pajamas because she know I love Wonder Woman. And a few years ago, I was going through something difficult, and her and another friend gave me another pair of Wonder Woman pajamas. And so that's what I use I keep them as my little hero pajamas. At night, sometimes you done had a rough day. I need my dun dun da da da. I'm gonna
Look,
put these on.
understood. Like you just chest out. Can't nobody tell
That's right.
me nothing.
I can do it, whatever it is. So
I
we're gonna have a better day tomorrow, whatever. So these are my favorite PJs. Yeah.
All right. Next question. My time freedom allows me to.
Oh, my time freedom allows me to spend time with my crazy dogs that I love so much. To not live life at this crazy, hectic pace, to enjoy myself. I love in the morning. I used to be a morning person. I'm not so much anymore. But I love that I can take my time in the mornings now, have my coffee, do my devotional, spend time in reflection before I jump into the chaos of the day. And also, it allows me to travel, spend time with girlfriends and family. And, now in the craziness of the pandemonium, we don't get to do so much, spending time together. So the time that I get to me is precious. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. All right. So what is the best advice that you would give someone who is seeking the Profits in Pajamas life?
I would say to take the time to reflect on what you really want and what success means to you. Not looking at what you've been told or taught or what you see in front of you. What makes you feel good about this business? You know what I mean? For me, I learned that it wasn't doing everything. Pick the things that I enjoy and just do those things.
I love
So
that.
if you want to live, a lifestyle, the pajama lifestyle, take the time, to evaluate what you really want out of your business and make the business look like you.
I love that. Absolutely love it. All right. So just to recap, we are talking to Tiffany McKinney, and we were talking about how you can be profitable in your business, how you make sure you're being profitable in your business. Tiffany, is there any thing you want to share with the audience, and also how can they best get in touch with you?
Nothing I want to share, just make your business profitable. And you can reach me on my website first and foremost. I ask that people go through my website so that I can keep track of all the inquiries. But my website, Facebook, and Instagram are all under my business name, Pabloon Balloon.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure talking with you. Hopefully we'll get to chat again because I always enjoy having conversations with you. Thank you for coming on the Profits in Pajamas podcast, and I will see you guys soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDannyD.com.